booties for black girl nerds.
Good.
Well, you know, your character has had a whole entire trajectory that is just completely done a 180 this season. But one of the things that I noticed about your character is that she's still insecure, even though she's done some really valiant things. She's saved lives. She's proven herself to be worthy.
Yeah.
Why is that insecurity still there?
So I actually think that's part of what's making her ready to lead, is that she's coming at it from a place of humility and doubting her ability, and so she's actually leaning on other people now and realizing that that leading is not a single is not the responsibility of a single person, and that is why I think she's actually ready now.
What have you enjoyed the most about this character? I mean, she's such a front-leading character and such an inspiring character for women and young girls.
Yeah.
What has been the most important thing for you leading on this role in The Mandalorian?
You know, I love strong, complicated women. I love playing characters that are not black and white, that their morality is a bit more ambiguous sometimes, but that they are incredibly relatable. And she is, you know, she has only ever done what she thought was right and best for her people. But, you know, the means were not necessarily in the right place. So, you know, that's what I love. I love that she's just an accurate depiction of a female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.
How are you?
Good, how are you? My name is Jamie with Black Girl Nerds.
Yes.
So you have been behind the camera
Yes.
as well as in front of the camera.
Yes.
Has that informed you more as a performer, being behind the camera and crafting the scenes for this series?
Very, very good question. In many ways, yes. One has to look at a lot more than just what one's doing. It's looking at what everyone's doing, including the different departments. So from hair and makeup to wardrobe to the craftsmen who are doing our post-production, obviously camera work, all of that sort of stuff, and telling the story. As a director, I'm far more involved and responsible for. As an actor, I just hopefully will be prepared, learn my lines, stand there, and give a good performance.
You have a stellar career. You've done it all from back in the day with Action Jackson, Apollo Creed,
Yes.
Predator,
Yes.
and now you're in the sci-fi Star Wars universe.
Yes.
What would you say that this is the best part of your career, or what would you define as sort of the climactic part of your career?
I hope I
Are
haven't
you
hit
still in it?
climax yet. I hope there's a lot more to do. It's you know what it is? It's another sandbox that I get to play in and hopefully tell good stories and remain relevant. People who are just born maybe 5 years ago get to discover Carl Weathers, when their grandparents discovered him way back when. So I keep going to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Yeah, we'll see.
Thank you, Mr. Weathers.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Hi, John. Jamie with Black Girl Nerds.
Hi.
Hi. So these cross-cultural moments that we see in The Mandalorian with these pop culture moments, like this last episode with Lizzo and Jack Black, has that always been an intentional thing with The Mandalorian?
It's never, the goal is never to be having a pop culture moment, but more engaging with people who have enthusiasm for what we're doing, and that we're drawing from people who feel as enthusiastic as we do. Now, the fact that one person might be a musician, another person might be a filmmaker, another person might be an actor, it's that mixture that really creates, I think, a lot of different perspectives in the show. But at the end of the day, the unifying factor is that we all feel really lucky to be working on Star Wars, and that enthusiasm, I think, carries forward, and and hopefully shows on the screen.
And what are you most proud of so far?
What am I most proud of? I think watching the filmmakers that I work with progress, because in television you get to be a storyteller in collaboration with other people, and bringing in people who hadn't directed before or people who came from animation, different styles of cinema, and have everybody who's a filmmaker be able to bring their own personality to it and have that inform the tone and the storytelling perspective.
Thank you so much.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you? Jamie with Black Girl Nerd.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. So, your character, not a good guy.
How are you?
Congratulations, I'm well.
But
Congratulations on
You say that. He might be a good guy to me.
Okay, that's a good question, or that's a good observation, I should say, because you've played villainous roles before. Do you find something in those characters that you empathize with in order to get to the core of that character to play it?
I think the mistake of playing a villain is to play a villainous. I think the word itself dictates what you think. I think the villain is the hero who has fallen from grace. That changes the story a little bit, doesn't it? I have a great idea that no one would listen to, and I really want to save you, but you don't know how to save yourself because you're not willing to follow me. So I think that's the way a villain or a quote-unquote villain becomes successful. And I think that's how we understand how to balance our light and dark in our lives, right? No one is either black or white. We all have certain thoughts at certain times that we dispel, and hopefully we go to the light. But if no one is listening and no one's hearing, and we really believe that this is the right way, and we grab for that power, then we turn a corner, because then we're trying to do something by force. So to me, I love this character because it gives me the ability to be able to look at something I do relate to, something sensitive and understanding about any villain I play, particularly Moff Gideon. He's able. Not many people are able. We live in a world where people live in a very awkward position. They don't know how to speak for themselves. They don't know how to ask for what they want. They're waiting for someone else to take the first step before they do, right? So they have no courage, maybe, to take that step for fear that the first cannonball might hit them. So we're not in a world of heroes anymore, or even anti-heroes who are willing to stand up for what they believe, whether it's right or wrong or indifferent.
And a follow-up to that, Moff Gideon is a very significant character in the Star Wars universe. Is this a character that we should root for, since he is, as you mentioned, like characters fall from grace, anti-heroes? Should we root for him in some circumstances because maybe he is flawed and there's something to that?
We're all flawed, and so we choose who we root for. I would, in our Star Wars universe, we want to root for the right. We want to root for the light. We want to root for people who are carrying the mantle of all, right? Of the whole army, not just of the dictator. So, to me, I want to root for the folks who really have compassion and grace and aren't forcing anything down my throat. But if I put that cape on, I want you rooting for me.
Her body on the line because Disney won't let me do it.
You're
I'd like to,
Bye.
Next to Jamie from Black Girl.
Hey,
Hi,
what's
Rick.
up?
How are you?
How's it going? How are you?
Good. So, you're going to be at the helm of these last two episodes, and obviously, without spoiling it, would you say that these last two episodes are going to tie up some loose ends, or is it going to leave some room to let us know what's going to happen in the next season?
Yeah, I think a little of both. I think there are things and seeds that have been planted from season 1 into season 2 into Book of Boba Fett that are culminating here this season. Obviously, we know that from where we left off in 6 that Bo is now in possession of the Darksaber, like she's has been a part of her plan, but now coming to her in a very different way, and then she's in a different place than she was when maybe she initially thought about having it. And so what does it all mean, and how do these factions come together? I think becomes a part of what the last two episodes deal with.
And The Mandalorian is known for these really cool pop culture moments.
Okay.
And we experienced that this last episode with Lizzo and Jack Black.
Yes, indeed.
So what is your thoughts about like these really cool pop culture moments that we get to see in this really fun fantasy series?
I mean, it's interesting because I think it comes from just people's love of Star Wars, and both Jack Black and Lizzo were incredible fans of Star Wars and then of the show, and so that kind of came together just through that. And I think because there are so many fans of Star Wars that would love to be a part of it, that these things come together. And then obviously the legendary Christopher Lloyd coming in and really kind of generationally tying it all together. So it's exciting. I always love when that gets to happen. I'm glad that it happened and people seem to be, digging it a little bit.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking Black Girl Nerds.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Fans.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Jamie with Black Girl Nerds.
Hi, Jamie.
You're so pretty.
Well, thank you. You are too.
I'm not used to seeing you without the full regalia.
It takes me so much longer to get ready for something like this than it does for the show.
The armor has this very trusting spirit about her. Do you get that sense about her compared to the other Mandalorians? I mean, that moment where she asked, Bo-Katan to take off her helmet, I felt like that was a very, pivotal moment for the show. So do you think she's more trusting than the other Mandalorians?
Trusting of other people, or that we can trust her?
Yeah, trusting of other people.
She is. I think that she's willing to take that risk because I think that there is a great vulnerability when you're willing to trust other people. And I think that she is... One of the things I love about playing her is that I think she is a leader whose great strength lies in being willing to trust other people that way. And we see over and over that she does sort of put herself on the line that way, that she's not aggressive with her power, she's not forceful, she doesn't order people around. She is sometimes perhaps more strongly suggestive than at other times, but we saw in season 1 that she sort of nudged Din certain ways on his journey, but she never commanded that he do any one thing. She was very patient and trusting that he would make the choices that would be best for him and that would fulfill his potential, because I think that she saw great potential in him. But she also knew, as I think most really quality teachers and mentors do, she knew that those had to be his decisions. She knew that she couldn't make those decisions for him. And I think it's the same with Bo. I think that she sees that Bo is maybe ready to think in ways contrary to the ways that she used to think, but that Bo needs to make those decisions on her own, and that maybe the Mandalorian people as a whole are ready to start thinking in some different ways. But again, you can't, as soon as you say, all right guys, it's time for you to do this, we're going to change, we're going to go this way, everybody is probably going to freak out. So I think the best leaders help the people that they're leading make those decisions for themselves so that they can fully own them.
And without spoiling anything, we only have a few episodes left, but do you think we'll tie up some loose ends as the season wraps up, or is it going to flow into something that's going to be open, that's going to leave us to ponder as to what will happen in season 3?
Yes to both. We'll tie up some loose ends, we'll leave some floating in the wind. Yeah.
Okay. Great diplomatic answer. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds. Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds.